Tell me I'm not alone. They've come up against a problem, especially when they're trying to get fit, and especially if you're a male, but not exclusively, where you've come up against a problem, had a bit of a failure, or a bit of a hiccup, or a bit of a, ooh, that didn't go so well. And instead of looking at the big picture, instead of making sure, is this the right thing I should be doing, you enthusiastically double down, be resilient. You think that, should be able to, if you just do more of it, it should just work. If you just apply more, if you just try harder, then everything should be okay. And I think as males, we're a little bit more susceptible to that, but, often, people that have been into any athletics or sport or be determined in their career can, do the same thing where you've had to rely on resilience a lot of your life, and a lot of times where if you get knocked down, you have to get back up. So that doesn't always serve us at our best. I'll give you my example of the triathlon. I was doing the swimming section. It was a little rough, but not too bad. But I took on quite a bit of water early in the water, and I had a huge panic moment. And a couple of people around me that just happened to be in the same sort of waves felt, one guy had to go over to the boat, but it was quite confronting. However, if all things being equal, it shouldn't have been that bad. Except in that moment, I had this trauma flashback to near drowning when I was younger, and that left me a little helpless in my body, a little bit unable to keep going in that moment. So I was able to tread water. I was able to eventually get my breath back and calm my thoughts a little bit and get basically going. That took a couple of minutes. I really thought I was going to have to bail. But, I made it eventually through the swim, but there was a few other hiccups along the way, and it was quite confronting in that way. And it was certainly very physically and mentally draining. That, of course, led me to the conclusion, well, I have to, double down, get back in the water, be as strong as I can. And, of course, the first few times back in the water, it felt absolutely dreadful, because I was basically trying too hard. I was, trying to muscle my way through the water. As we all know, muscling your way through the water isn't going to be the best thing. It's going to give you lots of resistance, going to fatigue you very quickly. And of course, if you're then worried about the sensation of drowning, if you're fatiguing quickly and you're getting overwhelmed in that moment, you bring back up the same thoughts. And, even though you're in a, nice, safe environment, you can still, bring those thoughts into any situation. So it actually took a little bit then to realize I was going all about it the wrong way. I had to, instead of doubling up on my sessions, instead of trying to go for more, I had to back off. I had to learn to relax in the water again, just enjoy the water, just be in the water, let alone doing any training. So that realization that sometimes you don't even realize how much tension you're holding in your body until you let go of the tension. And that was a classic example of that. I'm certainly not back to where I was feeling super confident in the water, but it's certainly going in the right track by actually now just spending time in the water, not just some of the training I'm doing, but even easing off on the training and making sure it's more about not the distance I was swimming. It's, can I make sure my body and my breathing and my mind, importantly, is relaxed. And trying to overpower something and trying to make yourself that feeling of not necessarily invincible that we sometimes do as males, but that feeling that, something is within my control. Whereas a lot of things are only perceived to be in our control. But one of the things that is in our control is, can I relax and breathe and let go of that tension, and then let my body do the work I want it to do. We get caught up in trying to make it, super stronger, super super stronger and more endurance and tougher mentally. But sometimes in this situation, if the tougher mentally comes at the cost of having tight and fatiguing muscles, it actually brought on the thing that I was worried about. So when you're looking at things that have been a problem and you are going to be resilient and you are going to give it another go, don't necessarily think that doubling down is everything that you need to do. Yes, show up. That's obviously really important. If I don't show up, I can't make any changes. I can't make any improvements. But equally, if I show up and then go about it all the wrong way, then I'm actually digging deeper rather than, making something that's going to be better for the future. So in your training, in anything you do, and sometimes in life, whether you have a setback, resilience is wonderful. Making sure you show up is even better. But how you show up is the most important thing. If you show up with a chip on your shoulder or not looking at the full picture, then you're actually digging yourself in deeper. Anyway, I hope my experiences of a bit of a setback help you with whatever you might be struggling with, and it helps you in the future. Take care. See you in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe.